What's good, people? My name is Zoftle, and welcome to my new tutorial series. I've had a lot of you guys asking me to make a growl tutorial for a while, so yeah, let's make a dubstep growl. Let's do it. First of all, you should open up your Serum. Um, Usually I put it 2 octaves down. So normally what I do is like if you have any bass samples, like let me take one of my personal bass samples for example, like one of these. Import, like drag it in. Okay, so we have that. So now that it's imported, you should always normalize it so everything is about the same volume. And if you're not satisfied with the way a wavetable sounds, then you can always change it. So what you do is there's these things called LFOs. You drag them onto different knobs and it modulates them. So I'm dragging this on here and I'm modulating it upwards so it like the volume goes up and down like to this curve here. Now I want the wavetable position to be modulated as well. And yeah, if I'm not like satisfied with this, I'll like use another one. See, this one has less frames, so what you can do is you can go into the wavetable editor right here, and you can click here, click where the wavetable cuts out, go to add remove, and then remove selected to end. Now what you can do is you can process, normalize each, and then do crossfade spectral. That sounds good to me. Now onto the effects. Now, if you want, dubstep growls always have a lot of compression, so if you're gonna want to do is turn the compressor on. I turn the release up to about there. Compresses the sound so it's a little bit more crunchy. I usually put hyperdimension on for stereo width, so it's more wide in stereo. And distortion. You can do tube distortion. I've been doing diode a little bit more. Alright, that's nice. Let's go back to the oscillator tab. So the most important part about making growl is using this filter over here. Usually I use a high pass 12 filter or a high notch 12 filter. So what this will do is it will like it's kind of like an EQ, but not really. It functions differently. So what you can do is you can yeah, so you can modulate it with the LFO and makes this peak here, and it'll basically give it like that vowel sound that you want. Let's use a high notch. Nice. Now we can also use this right here, the warp tool. So what this knob does is you can like select between all these different modes and knobs. And my favorite is bend. Basically shapes the wavetable in different forms. Yeah, let's do this one. I'm also gonna make the rate less slower. Let's put an EQ on this with a peak. Yeah, there you go. That's a decent growl. Now we can also put filters on it, like a flanger or Combs filter. This stuff is always good for like rhythm basses and stuff with like a mechanical sound. We don't have to use that now though. So yeah, that's basically the growl. So let me put this here, put it in the playlist. And if you wanna do some pitch automation, you can go here. This is the pitch. You gotta enable it to 12 semitones up and 12 semitones down. So let's do that. There we go. And now put the pitch on 12 so it can go up an octave or not. Here it's like kind of like a meow. And you can also change the rate, so it's like meow meow. There you go. Now, this sound isn't that fat, so I'm gonna cover the processing as well. So, go to a new mixer track, or this applies for all DAWs as well. If you're not using FL Studio like I am, it's similar. So usually, what you want to do is you want to always get an OTT. I usually leave it the same. I just turn the out gain up. That's already a lot more fatter. Add a little bit of distortion. Usually, I use Camel Crusher because it's like the best. This plugin is free, by the way, so you should get it. Look at that. It's already like a lot more fat. Um, you can also put Dimension Expander on. This is also free. This is more stereo width for the sound. And if you're lazy, you can also enable the sub oscillator, and so it like basically the sub bass. Yeah, I don't enable the sub oscillator. I have a separate sub bass. And EQing is very important. Usually, you always want to low cut it when you're using separate sub, like this. So, it's cutting out the sub frequencies, and we want to boost the bass. So, like when the yall or like the vowel sound comes back, like has a lot of bass to it. I boost the highs a little bit. You don't want to boost the highs too much because this already has a lot of highs in it. I boost the mids, so that's pretty nice. Um, yeah, and you can like totally like screw with this a lot too. So yeah, you just like screw around a lot. Yeah, and another tip is using macros. So you don't have to have multiple bass patches. Like what I usually do is I like copy the same patch over and over again to like change the LFO rate, but you don't have to do that. You can modulate the LFO rate here with a macro knob. So what I like to do is I like to do this. That should be good. So yeah, and like I could like do some of the ding, 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 ding. Here we go, create automation clip, and yeah, so that's a pretty decent route. Yeah, so I'm like just changing this so it changes the rate. That should be good for LFO modulation. I'm gonna make a quick drop real quick. I'll be right back. All right, and we are done with the quick drop test. That was not quick because I almost spent an hour on that. But anyways, yeah, this is what I did. I hope you guys like this tutorial. Probably not the best. It wasn't the best drop, but yeah. Anyways, I will see you guys next time in the second tutorial. We will be covering more bass design. See you in the next one.